Good morning, Kingsley community. Pastor Colleen Wehrman here, and I'm coming to you with another daily devotion for Tuesday, September 21, 2021. Live in Grace, Walk in Love by Bob Goff. Day 74. When we're desperate for right answers, God doesn't just send us information. He sends us wise friends. So from the Apostle Paul, the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 2. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. So Bob writes, if you haven't hit a time in life when you're crawling beneath rock bottom, you probably know someone who has. It happens when you're married to the love of your life and divorce papers arrive. It happens when the faith that stitched you together begins to unravel. It happens when someone you've loved leaves you or breaks an important promise. Without warning, the lights go out inside of us. We have no candles to light, and we don't know how to walk in the dark. When our lives fall apart, we don't need trite answers. We need a couple of solid friends. We need presence. We need someone holding our hand for the diagnosis or staying by our side when our big mistake goes public and viral. We need a friend when we courageously head to rehab to address the problem or to court to receive the verdict. Occasionally, we need people to gently ask us the right questions, but more often than not, we need friends who will give us a hug and then listen with big ears and seemingly endless amounts of time. When we're looking for answers, sometimes God sends us wise friends. When He doesn't tell us which way to go, He'll bring people to go with us instead. It's important to know what to look for when we feel like we're falling apart, because God doesn't often send us what we think we need. He sends us what He knows we need. So who's hurting around you? Is it possible God could send you to love them without having to say a word or make a suggestion? Who has been there for you during an uncertain time? Drop them a note. Let them know it mattered. Next time your world is turned upside down, look for friends instead of answers. God's lifeboats usually come in the form of people. What can you do for someone today whose life is unraveling? So we've all had those times when we don't have answers, we don't know what to do. Of course, we pray to God, but we also need wise friends who also have been praying to God and can help us through that time. A lot of times God will bring you friends that will ask questions to lead you down that direction to give you peace. And sometimes they don't say anything at all. They just show up and they just sit by you and hug you and cry with you. One of my parishioners said yesterday, what do you do when you go to someone who's lost a loved one? What do you say? And I said, it's not so much what we say, it's more important that we're there. So the first part of pastoral ministry, and anyone who follows Christ and wants to encourage and help and support others, the first thing you do is you be present, if you can be present. And being present nowadays looks a little bit different than it used to. So if you can physically be present, that's the best way. Physically be present, listen to what they have to say, don't give them advice, pray with them, let them know you're there. You know, sometimes a simple thing you can do is not just be present, but also ask if they need you to let their dog out. You know, maybe they're in the hospital with someone and it's going to be longer than they expected. So ask if you can go over and let the dog out and, you know, maybe play with the dog or feed the cat or clean the litter box, you know, things like that. But the very first thing you do is you're present. You know, a lot of people are like, how do you pray when someone is dying? You know, if the family asks you to pray or you decide to pray because God's leading you that way, then you pray. And it doesn't matter what you say. It matters that you're there and you care. So sometimes we just need to be with people and help them through hard times, carrying their burdens, as Paul says, as Jesus did too. He carried our burdens, so He expects us to carry the burdens of others. And sometimes people don't get through their grief quickly. People want to say, why is so-and-so still having breakfast with their loved one who passed 6 months ago? Why is she still making a cup of coffee for him or her? Because that's how she's getting through her grief. So instead of saying that's weird or she shouldn't be doing that, say, hey, you know, maybe I can come over and see you in the afternoon and we can have some tea and just, you know, maybe she'll share what a special moment that is with her and her loved one who's passed, just that time that they had together to remember the memories that they shared. A lot of times people do things while they're grieving that help them remember their loved one. So, until you've been through it, you really can't tell people how to grieve. It's in their own pace and in their own time. All we can do is be there and support them. And sometimes that's without saying a word. You don't have to have the right words. You don't have to have the right prayer. All you have to do is be there and let them know you care. That's pretty easy. Most of us can do that. And a lot of times when people lose loved ones, be there when you can. For pastors, we're the crisis management team, so we go immediately when things are falling apart, and we sit and we wait and we pray. But the people after are very important. 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, keeping in touch, stopping by, saying hello, seeing how they're doing. And pastors can't get there to do it all. So that's where other people have to step in, neighbors, friends, family, and be present. So whether that's a divorce somebody's going through, or whether that's, loss of a loved one, or an illness, or just a time that they don't know what to do, be there, be present. So I hope this was helpful for you this morning, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a good day.